At some point in your life, you realize you've been listening to everyone else longer than you've been listening to yourself. Advice, expectations, opinions about who you should be, coaches and gurus and podcasts, family, friends, people who mean well. Even the quiet pressure of what everyone else seems to be doing. It's not intentional. It just happens slowly. You become responsible and reliable, adaptable. You learn how to function inside expectations. You learn how to keep things steady. And somewhere along the way, you get good at managing life without ever stopping to ask yourself what you actually think about it. For a long time, that feels like maturity. You stay composed. You stay dependable. You stay useful. Silence starts to feel like strength. And for a while, it is. But eventually, something subtle happens. That silence that once felt strong starts to feel smaller. Not weak, just smaller than the person you're quietly becoming. I say that as a husband, a father, as someone responsible for other lives besides my own. It's easy to mistake silence for value, to believe staying contained is what makes you dependable. And for a long time, it works. But eventually, life slows down just enough for something unfamiliar to happen. You start hearing yourself, driving somewhere without music, waking up before the house does, sitting in a quiet room with nothing competing for your attention. And instead of clarity, there's hesitation because you realize something simple. You know what you do, you know what people expect from you, but your own voice, you're still learning how to hear it. Most of us grew up listening outward to expectations, to pressure, and to who we supposed to be. And somewhere along the way, we stopped listening inward. Not because we don't have a voice, but because it's quieter than everything else. So we learn how to survive by listening to everything except ourselves. Survival keeps you functioning, but direction keeps you aligned. And one day, nothing dramatic, it happens. You slow down just enough to hear questions you've been avoiding. What do I actually think? What do I actually feel? What am I tired of carrying? At first, it's uncomfortable because hearing yourself means you can't override yourself anymore. But something important happens right after that. You stop arguing with yourself. You start trusting what you hear. And slowly, a different version of you appears. Not louder, just something clear. You stop shrinking to keep things smooth. You stop rehearsing every sentence before you speak. You stop pretending you don't feel deeply. You realize that the voice you ignored was never trying to disrupt your life. It was trying to keep you aligned. And that realization doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like recognition. No announcement, no big breakthrough moment, just a quiet understanding. I know where I stand now. I know that changes how you move. Your words slow down. Your boundaries feel natural. Your silence feels lighter. You speak when it matters, not to be heard, but because what you're saying is true. That's what this season has really been about. Unspoken wasn't about silence. It was about learning to understand yourself inside it. Season 2 is different. Untranslated is what happens once you trust yourself enough to move without explaining. So before we close this chapter, let me leave you with this. What part of you have you finally started hearing without arguing with it? You don't have to explain the answer. Just recognize it. That's just one thought. Now, what's yours?